I've written before about the move to nullify the Electoral College and the Constitution through the National Popular Vote Compact. Now, New Hampshire has come up with an interesting way to prevent the overthrow of the supreme law of the land. We'll discuss that next on the Constitution Study.
There's one thing you have to know wherever you make your stand. Came from a long through line of everyday Americans.
Well, hello there, everyday Americans. Paul Engel here with the Constitution Study, where we read and study the Constitution and teach the rising generation to be free. I am glad you could join me today. As always, I'm going to point you to that website, constitutionstudy.com. Sign up for the newsletter. You'll get a monthly letter from me letting you know what's going on, what's been happening, what new is happening, everything that's going on with the Constitution Study. You can even sign up to have these videos and the related articles emailed directly to your inbox when they're released. As always, you can help spread the word with what we're doing. Twitter, Facebook, friends, family, wherever you can. Spread the word of liberty and rights and the need for all Americans to read and study the Constitution for themselves. For those of you in North Dakota, I'm going to be in Bismarck later in February. Hope you're coming. Hope you'll join me. For those around the country that would like to see or hear more of what I'm saying and doing, go to the website. You can request a speaker. Maybe I'll come out to your event. Maybe I'll come meet you in person. If that's not practical, we can always do it over the internet. I have a system where we can have an interaction and exchange over the internet. It works pretty well, and it means you don't have to pay for travel. Isn't that wonderful? So with that, let's talk about what's going on in New Hampshire, and specifically more about the National Popular Vote. For those of you unfamiliar with the National Popular Vote, or the NPV movement, I recommend you watch my video, Disassembling the Republic with Good Intentions. The short version is, there are those who do not like the fact that the president is not elected by the people, but by the states. Now, it's not put this way, but that's basically what they're saying, and they want us to be more like a democracy. Now, while a few are proposing amending the Constitution to change the way we elect the president, some are trying to short-circuit the system by getting states to choose electors based on a mythical national popular vote rather than the vote of citizens within the states. So, with 15 states representing 196 of the 270 electors needed to elect a president already signed on to this compact, what are those states who understand that the president is elected by the states for a reason? What are they going to do? Will our Constitution be overturned by a minority of states imposing their will on the majority? Well, New Hampshire has a plan to avoid that. Quote, unless a recount has been requested pursuant to RSA 669, no officer, employee, or contractor of the state of New Hampshire or its political subdivisions shall publicly release the number of votes cast in the general election for President of the United States until after the time set by law for the meeting and voting of presidential electors has passed in all states. New Hampshire Solution is both simple and ingenious. The state will simply not report their vote counts until after the electors have voted for president. Now, as of the 2010 census, New Hampshire has approximately 1.3 million residents, or less than 0.5% of the population. If New Hampshire alone passes their legislation, it would only impact the national popular vote movement in close presidential elections. But what if more states signed on? What if more states refused to release their vote counts until after the electors voted? As the percentage of population not reporting vote totals grows, so does the impact on the NPV movement. Now, those supporting the national popular vote, well, they're surely to cry foul. How dare the state interfere with their attempt to subvert the Constitution to get their way? They'll say it's a violation of federal election law, which is kind of hilarious because these are not federal elections, these are state elections. But an important point is that, see, the Constitution is a compact among the states. The states ratify the Constitution and all its amendments, and it's up to the states to stand up to those among them who are misbehaving. Now, whether you think that a national popular vote for president is a good idea or not, the way to make it happen is to amend the Constitution, not to go around it. Now, I encourage other states to join New Hampshire in standing up to this attempt to subvert the will of their citizens. The legislation is short and simple to understand. I'll include a link in the description, so send this article along with that link to to your state legislatures. Encourage them to honor the will of their citizens, not the will of other states. And if you need help explaining it to them, well, contact me and I'll help as I can. The point is, don't just sit around and wonder what others will do. Take up the responsibility of being a citizen of this country. Stand up for your rights and make your intentions known. If your representatives will not follow their oath to support the Constitution, you'll find better representatives. So what do you think? Are you concerned about the national popular vote movement? And if so, what do you think about New Hampshire's plan to deal with it? See, I like it. It makes me happy, like I said, because it's simple. It's not complicated. It's not full of legalese. It's real simple. If you want to count the national popular vote, we simply will not contribute. We won't help you. New Hampshire can't tell other states how to appoint their electors, but they certainly don't have to help them subvert the Constitution. And I like that. I like legislation that's simple, that's easy to understand, that's easy to implement, and I hope other states will do this as well. In fact, I'm setting up a meeting with my state reps, and on that agenda is going to be this particular legislation, among with some other things. So join me. Talk to your state legislatures. Let them know what you think about the national popular vote. If your state has joined the compact, encourage them to leave it. If your state hasn't joined the compact, encourage them to pass similar legislation to what New Hampshire is proposing. Don't participate. Don't assist them. Don't be accomplices to the crime of subverting the Constitution. Stand up. Do what is right. And let me know how it goes. Put in the comments, what do you think? What have you done? And what was the reaction from your state legislature? And if your states are considering this and you want some help, let me know. Whether it's interviews on the podcast or information I can provide, let me know and I'll help as I can. I hope you found this exciting. I hope you found that the state standing up in a way that everybody can understand is good. And I hope it's enough for you to come back so I can see you next time on the Constitution Study.
Wherever you make your stand, came from a long